Hi guys! A few more little exercises to add on to the last one I did. I did a quick little stomach series and some leg stuff. We're going to add on with a little loopy band here. These are really good for your lower abdominals and to work the top of your thigh, your hip flexor muscles a little bit, and to just promote a little bit of stability. So again, you can do these in a seated position. If you're in your chair or if you're standing, you're going to bring your little loopy band just across the top of your feet. And then I have my feet a little bit wider than sitting bones apart here. You can do these in your shoes or you can do them without your shoes. I'm going to put my hands here, and all I'm going to do is start to transfer my weight sort of side to side. So sort of get the idea of that first, the idea of the weight transfer, knowing that you're going to move a little bit side to side as you lift your legs. And then we want to start to pick one knee up and place it down. I'm going to shift my weight. I'm going to pull the other knee up and step down. So this is standing marching, but made obviously a little bit more difficult or a lot more difficult depending on the intensity of your band here. I want you to exhale as you lift, and as you exhale, I want you to pull that waistband in. I'm trying not to fold forward. I'm not changing my spine at all. I'm trying to keep my pelvis and my spine in that nice neutral upright position, just transferring side to side with your little soldier marches. If you have really good balance and you have weights, right, and you want to add some weighted arms with this exercise, want to do a few little bicep curls as you come in and out, you can do that. So get tricky, get imaginative, do stuff that you want to do, anything at all. All right, I'm going to bring hands back to waist. I'm just going to do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Okay, I'm going to keep my little weighted band on there. I'm going to take my hand out. If you're standing, I want you to put your hand against a wall. So I'm going to shimmy over here just a little bit so that I have my hand right here. I'm going to stand on my left leg here, and I want to just take my right leg out to the side, and I'm just going to do tiny little pulses. I want it to be really little. And what I feel more than the right leg is my standing leg. So I want to keep my hip really upright on that standing leg. I want to try not to sink to the side. You'll notice that sometimes you sink to the side here. Really try to stand as tall as you can and have that work be on that standing leg side. Of course, this leg is working a little bit. We're just going to do 3 more. I want to work the inner thigh a little bit, so I'm going to turn my toe. I'm going to make sure that the arch of my foot is in the band here, and my heel is sort of in line with my big toe on the opposite foot, and now I'm going to push that leg forward a little bit. There's a soft bend in my knee here, just a little soft bend in my knee, and I'm just pushing forward. So you're going to start to feel that in the inner thigh a little bit, and also into the groin area and into the middle part of the hip flexor, the sort of the groin here. Your hip flexor is still working really hard here. 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'm going to keep my leg to the side here. I'm going to pull up to the side and then push down. You're going to feel this again in your standing leg. So try to keep that standing leg as long as possible. Still thinking about lifting through the spine there. I'm just sort of pulling up to the side and plant. We're going to do 4 more. Lift. 3 more. Lift. 2 more. Good job. 1 more. These are okay to do without bands as well. Then I'm going to go back out to the side here. I'm going to point my toe a little bit. I'm going to soften my standing leg. I'm going to bend this knee a little bit, and I'm going to press back just so that I get a little bit of resistance on there. This leg is straight. I'm tipping forward just a little bit, and then from there, I want to just see if I can do tiny, tiny little pulses from the hip. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Those are pretty hard. Then I'm going to turn. I'm going to face my bands here, and I'm going to keep my little leg bands on here. I'm just going to fold forward to stretch out the hamstring and the hip a little bit. I'm creasing at the front of my thigh. I'm not flexing my spine. So for those of you who are sitting, you can just bend forward, trying to keep that spine nice and long. I'm trying not to flex forward because that's lumbopelvic rhythm, but this hip hinge right here is very safe for backs and also stretches out the hip, the hamstring. Good, let's just do one more. Good, very nice. Okay, we're gonna go back to this side. Now, even though I'm doing this leg, I'm just gonna push my leg to the side. Instead of pushing it out that way, I'm just gonna push it towards the wall. So it's not, it doesn't really matter. If you're holding onto a chair and you wanna hold your chair on this side, that's fine. I'm gonna start with my sides right here. I'm gonna stay here and I'm just gonna push to the side and we're just gonna do those little tiny press outs. And again, I want you to make sure that you're standing as tall as you can on that standing hip. We're really trying to lengthen through the side there. Let's do 8 more. 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. And I'm going to cross over. I'm going to bring my heel on a little bit of an angle here. Yep. And I want to work the side, the inside of my hip here. So I'm going to press forward a little bit. I'm going to keep my knee a little bit soft, and I want to just pull forward. My heel is sort of in line with my standing big toe, and my leg is coming forward. It's not crossing over the midline, it's pulling forward. And you can feel that. If you put your hand here, you'll feel that in your lower abdominal, you'll feel that in your hip flexor, you'll feel that in the inner thigh a little bit. Let's do 4 more. 3, 2, and 1. Then I want to keep it on that angle, and I want to pull up to the side and down. Resist the urge to push your hip out there. Try to lift straight up, keeping your spine nice and long. Lift and lower. I'm tapping the floor with my toe that's going up and down, but you don't have to. You can keep it lifted the whole time if you want to. And I'm using this hand to try to keep my balance and keep my shoulders up. Somebody's trying to get in touch with me. I'm really popular. People are calling all the time. Just never know. Let's do 2 more. And 1 more. Good. And now I'm going to press this foot back a little bit. I'm going to soften my standing knee. And I want to try to straighten that leg a little bit. Now I want to push from the hip. It's a tiny, tiny little movement on that back leg. 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Nice job. Of course, there are lots of exercises you can do, right? You can do those side-to-side exercises as much as you want to. Okay, we're going to do some standing arms now. So I'm going to get rid of my little band here. We're going to turn towards our bands here. And I have a band that's sort of a medium weight band here. I'm going to use it to do some tricep work. So you can choose to use one of the bands or both of them. I'm going to work a little bit harder by using both of them in one arm, but first we're going to stretch. So I'm going to place both of those in one hand, and we're going to go back to those little dips that we did a minute ago, the forward flexion. So I'm just going to exhale forward a little bit. I'm going to pull back just to create some extension through my spine, and then I'm going to lengthen and come back. Inhale, fold forward, pull back, and then rise back up with your exhale. Let's do 2 more. Inhale, pull back, and rise back up with an exhale. And then 1 more time, pull back, and rise back up. All right, I'm going to take my band, I'm going to place it in my right hand here, and I'm going to, for some extra resistance here, instead of holding the handles, I'm going to hold down here. I'm going to move over to the side so that my shoulder is in line with my bands. It's not on an angle here, it's right in line. I'm going to hinge forward a little bit, and then I'm going to step back with that same leg that I'm working my arms with here. And I want to just start to pull back a little bit and sort of test how much resistance is on there and how much work I can get in the back of my arm and my shoulder here. Now the tricep doesn't really work until we sort of bend and extend it. It's working here as I pull back to just help stabilize, but this is a lot of shoulder work. I'm going to bend my elbow here. I'm going to pull here. I'm going to hinge forward a little bit more, and then I want to kick that back, and that's actually a little bit too much for me, so I'm going to come forward a little bit. I want you to be able to straighten that arm the entire way in order to get the tricep working. I'm keeping my core nice and tight here. I'm keeping my chest lifted. When I inhale, press that back and pull it in. Press and pull in. Hold it back there. Don't just immediately let go. Make sure that you're challenging yourself a little bit. I'm going to do 4 more. Press back, pull in. Try to keep your spine long. Try not to let your head hang. Try to keep the back of your neck in line with your spine. And then 1 more. Good. All right. And then the same thing's going to happen on the other side. So I'm going to change that to the other side. I'm going to move over a little bit so that the arm is in line with the shoulder that I'm working. I'm going to stand on my right leg, kick back with my left, hinge slightly forward, do a little test. Pull the arm a few times to make sure that you can pull